Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Patricia. I am Zuriel's mum, and I'd just like to say a few words on behalf of our family. First of all, we would like to just say thank you, a big thank you actually, to everybody who is supporting Zuriel in her projects. You know, we are a family of 6. There's my husband, Angola, myself, and our 4 children, of which Zuriel is the oldest. And so we really need all the help we can get to help her accomplish her dreams and her goals, which are huge. So we'd just like to say thank you to everybody who's supporting her. First, I have to thank the Lord for giving us the strength to embark on this amazing journey. I would also like to thank SMC for your very integral, tremendous support that you've given to Zuriel from the beginning, from the very beginning. You've believed in her and you've supported her from the very beginning, and we really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. I'd also like to thank Ethiopian Airlines, the new spirit of Africa, right? You guys have been tremendous as well in getting Zuriel to wherever she needs to go to inspire those girls. On behalf of Zuriel, on behalf of the girls, and some boys she's actually spoken to as well, we would like to say thank you as well. You have shown a great spirit of kindness and generosity in supporting what she's doing, so thank you very much. I would also like to thank the Prodigy Hotel in Ikoyi. I don't know that there's any representative here, but we thank you. And thank you also to Hertz, our rental, for your support here while we're on the ground. That has been very, very helpful. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Zuriel has had a very busy year this year. I'm sure she'll tell you about that shortly. But for me as her mother, I am amazed that my 11-year-old daughter is speaking here at university for the second time, because I don't actually have a degree myself. So she is starting way above my shoulders, which I'm really grateful to God for, and I think must be every parent's dream for their child to do so. So once again, thank you very much for everybody who supports. When you see the results of Zuriel, it really is a team effort, and there's a team right here, people who are supporting her. I'm grateful that you've actually brought some additional girls as well. It's our duty to support them too. They really need our support, and they can be and achieve whatever they want to if we support them. So thank you once again. And I'm just going to pass the microphone to young Azalea, who is going to say a few words.
Good morning. I would like to welcome you all to the Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up press conference. My name is Zuriel Oduwole, and I am 9 years old. In case you're wondering why I'm standing here, I'm actually Zuriel's younger sister. And if you haven't heard of her, I'll tell you about her. She has had many great achievements, including interviewing current and past presidents, business leaders, prime ministers, and others. She's also been able to produce documentaries to rebrand Africa, and she has also been able to do her Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up program to inspire the girl child. I've also had the privilege to interview a world leader myself, and she's actually the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller. And I actually asked her a really fun question. I asked her if her yams make her runners such as Usain Bolt and Real Huntling run fast. Anyways, that's enough of me. Now I'm going to introduce my sister Drew, who I'm very proud of. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Zilly. I really appreciate that. Good morning. It's great to be back here again. As my mom mentioned earlier, I would like to thank everyone who has and is continuing to support me through all my programs. I would like to thank SMC for hosting this event, and I would also like to thank our friends at Ethiopian Airlines, the Prodigy Hotel in Ikoyi, and Hertz for making all this possible. SMC is a really special place to me because this is where I first launched my Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up program. And I was only 10 years old then, and very nervous. But you all supported me and made me feel much better. So I would like to thank you all for that. When I came back from that trip in March, I had exams to study for, and I had to study hard. And I'm sure you can all appreciate that in this season, right? Shortly after my exams, I was invited to the 50th anniversary of the African Union. And to me, it was such an honor to be invited to such a celebration, especially since I had created a documentary on the 1963 Organization of African Unity, which I showed you all when I was last here. On that trip, I was able to see both the new African Union building and the old OAU building. And I actually got to attend a conference in the old OAU building, where my younger sister Zelia, who spoke a couple of minutes ago, asked a question to all the presidents there. And the former president of Zambia and the only living founding father of the 1963 Organization of African Unity, President Kenneth Kaunda, was asked to answer her question. And I was just really proud of her. I also got to go inside the new African Union building, and you'll never guess who I ran into there. I met my old friends, President Jerry Lyons of Ghana, President John Cooper of Ghana, and President Jakaki Kikwete of Tanzania. And I was pleased that they all remembered me. Whilst I was there, I was also able to make new friends. New African leaders I was able to interview. My interview with President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya was exciting because he had just come into office. And later on that day, I was actually able to interview our president, President Goodluck Jonathan of Nigeria, where I was able to present him with a copy of my documentary. And he actually said that he would show his 10-year-old son the documentary as well. I was also able to interview President Salva Kiir Mayardit of South Sudan, and that was an interesting interview, especially since South Sudan is the newest country in the world. I was also able to interview President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia, who had a lot to talk about women empowerment in Africa. And later on that day, I was able to interview President Jorge Fonseca of Cape Verde. And that was a new type of interview to me, because we had to have an interpreter there to interpret both sides of the conversation, because the president spoke his country's language, Portuguese. And overall, they were all very friendly to me. I was also able to interview 2 African Union commissioners. They are Commissioner Peace for Rural Development in Africa and Commissioner Koloko for Health in Africa. When I got back from that exciting and interesting trip, I decided to join a basketball league because it was summer and I had just finished my schoolwork. The tournament lasted 8 weeks, and after that, I realized how much I loved the sport. So I decided to join a travel team or a permanent team. I have also been able to launch my Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up program into 2 other African countries. They are Malawi and Tanzania. During my trip to Malawi, I was able to visit 3 schools and an orphanage. And I actually got feedback from the orphanage from the head teacher, Miss Maria da Silva. She said that after I had visited their orphanage, they had taken all the kids out to a concert. And one of the girls from the orphanage raised her hand and wanted to know if she could ask a question. And Miss Maria da Silva was surprised because usually all the kids are very shy and they don't really like asking questions. And so when she came to the girl and asked why she had chosen to ask the question, she said that it was because when I came to their orphanage, I had talked to them about the world leaders I had been able to interview. And she said that the least she could do was interview the performer there. And I was just really thrilled that I was inspiring the kids there. During my trip to Tanzania, I was also able to visit 3 schools, and I met up with President Jakaki Kikwete and First Lady Salma Kikwete. And the First Lady actually appointed me an ambassador to a foundation. the WAMA Foundation, which focuses on women empowerment in Africa and girls' education in Africa. And I was just really honored that she appointed me an ambassador. I know when I was last here, I gave my Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up speech. But I would just like to give you a summary of it. For dreaming up, you should always make sure that you dream and dream big. For speaking up, you should always make sure that you speak up for your dreams and speak up for what you believe in. And if you have the opportunity, you should also speak up for others who can't speak up for themselves. And for standing up, you should always remember to stand, stand, and stand again. Because many successful people fail at first before succeeding. And my advice was, and still is, to have a firm foundation upon which you can build your dreams. As my name Zuriel suggests, that God is my rock, that is my foundation. I will now be showing you a brief clip of some of the interviews I have conducted, and then later on, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have for me. I would like to thank you all for coming here, and I would like to say that I'm so glad to be here again. Eshe, Darlo, Nagode.